Okay, guys, welcome to the Indian Startup Desktop.
Woohoo!
Pine Labs versus Paytm just got rolled. Pine Labs takes a shot at Paytm, foul or fair. Oh,
Guys,
no, I'm paying for this.
come on. I'm serious right now. Are we really serious? I have to pay for news.
Capitalism, guys, capitalism.
The front page can be bought, trust cannot. India trusts Pine Labs.
Guys, honestly, I work for this group. It's a little hurtful.
So
Look, guys. Yeah,
context.
go ahead.
The entire context is, Paytm got into some legal trouble with, the RBI apparently, and their Paytm payments bank license got cancelled.
Hmm.
Pine Labs, in the midst of all of this, wanted to take a slight dig, at Paytm, like all large companies do. Pine Labs got a lot of flack on Twitter, especially because of this. Pawan, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, my thoughts are very clear on this. I think so. We should all see how the past has been, how the history has been in the similar business from the same people in the industry. Paytm, when PhonePe got banned because of Yes Bank, right? That was the only banking partner that they had taken a jibe, at PhonePe. I don't remember the exact line, but it was on the lines of. Can they power Paytm because they have a more stable infrastructure and stuff like that. So karma is a bitch, guys. What you sow is what you reap. So I don't find it.
This
Look
is
at this dig, dude.
even a dig. Inviting you to Paytm Bank, it already has huge adoption. I mean, this is not even a dig. Saksham, what do you think?
I think saying somebody is calling it out and saying if you were seamlessly scalable, we would have reached out to you ourselves. That's kind of personal.
Apparently,
While the
PhonePe got banned.
PhonePe had like 40% of market share back then when they got banned as well, and they've been able to keep it still now. And Paytm is still on like 14% or 15% number, taking a jive at someone who's doing really well because of someone else's mistake. Their PhonePe didn't have a mistake of their own as well. It was Yes Bank's mistake. Where he was more supportive to Yes Bank than they are supportive to Paytm right now. So, I mean, guys, this should
Yeah.
be fair.
I
Why
think
do you
Pine
want
Labs is fair when they're doing this.
Why do you
It's
think
only
Paytm
fair.
why do you think Pine Labs got a lot of hate on Twitter because of that? Like, why are folks still standing with Paytm? Because even though
I,
they've violated some, RBI regulation.
I think it's a lot of sentiment that people have attached to Paytm.
I have a product
I
answer
don't-
for this.
I don't want to take the political stance. I don't want to bring that in, but I think it's also to do with that. But yeah, Pawan, please go ahead.
I think so. The way Paytm has been designed, right? It's not just a business tool. It is first a personal tool as well. A lot of people use Paytm for their own personal use, so they're built on sympathy for themselves. Whereas
I
Pine
think they
Labs
only
is more
have
like a business
only have
of it.
14% market share. I mean, you would think PhonePe has much larger, but there might be like a deeper reason why people stand with Paytm.
So 14% just on UPI payments, right? They offer 100 different kinds of service. They offer services to book your buses. They have concerts. They have
Yeah.
flights. They have all the things you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like they have
Guys,
it.
don't
So-
we all love Paytm Insider?
I mean, yeah, sure. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, they have built this customer persona love for a long time, whereas Pine Labs is more on the business side. The number of people, in fact, who probably will be knowing Pine Labs would be probably half the percentage of people who would be knowing Paytm. Because
I
Paytm
think it'll
is
just
very-
just be a fraction of the people.
So
Got it.
that's where the
Which is exactly why
love
what
comes
Pine
from.
Labs is doing is fair. I think it's absolutely fair.
Moving on. This is probably my favorite. This
Yeah.
guess who's back, guys.
I'm excited for this. Guys. Let's go.
None of you can take him down. Ravi Sutanjani is back, and he's back with the brand. All of you beware. Okay, before we go deeper into this, let me just tell you, Ravi Sutanjani was a fintech influencer. He got a lot of hate a couple of months back when this Twitter profile exposed him of faking his educational degrees.
Oh,
And he was this huge influencer who used to post a lot about UPI, digital public infrastructure, and he also used to take a pretty evident stance on his political allegiance. But let's actually listen to what he has to say.
Namaste everyone. My name is Ravi
Yes.
Sutanjani. I am a fintech content creator and entrepreneur. I write
Sure.
about India's growth story, UPI, and digital public infrastructure. Here I am to clarify some of the very important points and also to share my disclosures on the events that has happened in the past few months. Well, this could have been done 4 months back, but I chose to take some break. And now here I am. The
Pete,
first
can you
one
pause
is
this?
around politics. I have always
I think before we go forward, it's important that we acknowledge the work that he has done. I think he's been able to build a lot of network. He's actually, whoever has met him has said only good things about him as a person.
Yeah.
So
Look,
before,
I have personally met him
Yeah.
once at a fintech fest, and he is a very good guy. He acknowledges you. He talks to you very nicely. Doesn't behave as if someone who is like very cocky and has everything on his head.
That's
Really
how
nice guy.
build,
When you
that's how
yeah
build the following for one.
yeah, maybe a cult or something. That might be an intention. But the point here is.
Did you
Uh,
say?
You never know, boy. I've seen a lot of people in this country who build a cult and they come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Literally.
been vocal
And they have
about
been
my
very
political
evidently
views.
aware.
Look. Kudos to him. He's built this huge following. Look. It's not easy to build a huge following. He probably has 32,000 followers. More than all of us combined. But I think where people are coming from is that he, like, while he speaks about UPI and digital public infrastructure, he always credits it to the current government, and he always has this very hard political stance. So people, like, when you consume news from a person you trust on social media, you would want that person to be neutral so that you can essentially form
Yeah.
your opinion about things. And I think
I
that
don't believe in this. I mean, I think so your comment is very specific to a channel that you have selected here. I don't think so if this similar issue would have happened on a mass media
Guys, I
news
think
channels, right?
let's go through the issue. Let's see the video.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And then I
have
think we
thought.
And
should
I'm
talk
not part of, I have never been part of any political party. In India, I have never taken any sponsorship or any money to promote certain views or ideology. Everything has been so personal, but I often get labeled because apparently in this country, if you talk about India's growth, if you talk about infrastructure development and how well India is progressing, you automatically get labeled as Bhakt and whatever.
It's
But
true.
those are untrue, and
That's
I'm
kind of
not
true.
part of any political party at all. Second is around my education. Some people.
Guys.
I
A
would
moment
like
to
to
pause.
clarify some important points because
Let
it
him
was a
tell
part of
us.
propaganda. I have very well completed my graduation. I dropped out of engineering, that's the fact. But I have finished my UG and PG while doing this ITI certification. Apparently, the college was in the hometown. So that's the whole reality. But
What does he mean?
Like, okay,
Apparently, the college was in the hometown, right?
There are so many great people who dropped out of college and become big.
Yeah.
Jobs, Ravi Sutanjani, everybody else.
So the point is, he mentions about his political inclination and he got getting labeled as Bhakt and all. Guys, we need to remember that he was being followed by the Prime Minister of the country at a point.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is following you. Why wouldn't people think that, dude?
Yeah.
diploma holder and something, which is not totally true. I come from a family of teachers. My great grandfather.
It's partially
was
true. It's not
a
totally
teacher.
true.
My father is a teacher, and we regard education as the highest authority. Then professional qualification is something that I wish to talk about. I have very well served my tenure at my organization, and I am more than grateful to my companies and bosses and my leaders for giving me a chance, for
Guys.
trusting me, for mentoring me, and I'm wherever I am today. They
What is happening? Are we listening to some seventh grader read out an essay?
Okay, fine. Let's listen to the conclusion and let's wrap this segment up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all your support, and I'm committed to add more value, to bring more value to your timeline, to bring some of the latest updates about India's infrastructure, about how India
Can we look at
is
some
making
comments
money
here?
in the fintech space, but with slightly
Yeah. Let's look at some comments.
Fraudster is back.
Fraudster is back. Amazing.
Comeback nobody expected. So
I
many
think we're all
but
anticipating
still
this
no
to happen.
response to faking the education. Just show the onboarding letter from IIIT Allahabad. I don't think he can. We are so back.
Let's go. The man who scammed good juice.
Guys, look, I look at him like a news channel. He has chosen Twitter as a platform. He just does the job of getting the news fastest delivered to you. And if it gets influenced by his own thoughts and somewhere in between, that's where you have to draw a line to understand
Guys,
your reality.
I have one thing to conclude this. Is he our one true fintech leader?
You never know.
Let's move on.
Okay. Oh, this is another interesting one. Hardik Pandya is back with another fastball.
Is this is this the wrong Hardik Pandya, guys? I'm sorry.
So
I
Hardik
see.
Pandya is senior vice president at Unacademy, this huge tech startup in India. He got a lot of flack a couple of months back when you know when he mentioned that he hates people looking down on hustle bros. He said he wants to glorify working hard and everybody should be working hard. Without working hard, you can't get anything. And he had this entire wave of people with pitchforks coming behind him and
Yeah.
you're a vice president at a huge startup. Of course, you would say that. He's back.
Hashtag
And his
70
customer
hours
base
work.
being a Gen Z, largely. His customer base is definitely Gen Z.
So he's had a comment on the Gen Z workforce. I've interacted quite a bit with the Gen Z workforce in the last few months. You'll see a consistent pattern around their casual disregard for hard work, longevity of a career, and the trade-offs involved. Their argument is that work has evolved. It has. Here's what hasn't. Speaks
Guys,
fondly about setting their own terms, create my own agency called Freelance from Goa, I'll build a YouTube channel. When prodded enough, you learn about their willingness usually stems from the pride of having figured out a market arbitrage.
I so want to go through comments here. I want to see what people are talking about this. Specifically,
Okay.
what is Gen Z talking about this?
Hello, Gen Zs. He's probably referring to a lot of people you hang out with. But what are your thoughts on this?
guys, firstly, I think Pawan, are we not working? Are we not working hard? What is happening?
100%. Well said, sir.
We just have our jobs.
Only a privileged few of a generation decides to preach to the generation. Going to send this to 20-year-old life career coaches that keep sliding into my DMs.
Bang on, bang on. I love this
Yeah.
idea. Bang on.
Go Shantanu Goel. I can't retweet this enough.
The world is burning.
Spot on. It looks like more people are agreeing with him than disagreeing with him. Funnily.
Guys, I think he's still better off playing cricket.
Look, guys, I feel that every once in 20 to 25 years, there is a new wave of generation with new people coming with different perspectives, specifically on the work side. The way probably our parents work, especially at least mine, I can't comment on others, but is not something that I can totally work out in a similar way for myself today. So it depends upon person to person, it depends upon an individual, it depends upon generation, and the main point is this is what it's gonna be. You can't change Gen Z by a large extent. You can't influence them very heavily to change their perspective altogether. And the hardest truth is you have to be working with them. That's where the future lies. That's how it's gonna progress. So denying is not gonna help. You have to learn to deal with it.
That's
Yeah, but look at people appreciating the comment, the tweet.
I
so
mean, it
much.
depends upon, right? Which side of the table they are. Are they
Which
on
is
the-
none of the Gen Zs. It's all people who've been doing this for at least 2 decades.
for all the
interesting part is-
stop
Gen
what
Zs-
you're doing and read this now.
Look at the interesting part. Gen Zs didn't even bother to reply on it and take it negative. Like, sure, fuck it.
Maybe he got a lot of hate on the comments.
Oh, probably.
What is your contribution to society? Oh, that's a different one.
Of course, it doesn't apply to every Gen Z I've met, just addressing a trend. Thanks for keeping me honest. That's the best way of saying, guys, please don't come after me. I just said this as a comment. I want to be famous.
Yeah.
Don't come after me.
Yeah, why does he care about being famous? He already has a very good cricket career. I mean,
Maybe a little anti-famous as well, but let's keep that for a separate conversation.
On next, Deepak Shenoy's been on a tear. So for everybody's context, Deepak Shenoy is the founder and CEO of Capital Minds.
Lately, capitalist mind.
He's also probably one of my favorite commentators of the financial landscape in India. So he's come out with a lot of harsh comments from RBI's recent talk. RBI is getting more serious on regulation for NBFCs. First, the NBFCs better stop their insanely large dependence on banks for their funding. My words, not his. Second, don't lend blindly.
You could have just put that in quotes instead of mentioning it.
You microfinance people, we gave you a framework. You passed on costs to borrowers, but you didn't give them any benefits that you earned it. We are watching. We don't
I
like
don't like.
If that was done, they would have not been called microfinance. They would have been called banks.
if you're
I think
noticing.
that sounded more like a quarterly review meeting.
Look, all things said and done, we are a huge fan of Deepak Shenoy. Deepak Shenoy, please keep going. We are huge fans of you again.
Full power.
Always.
Next, another interesting one: India's own AI. Um,
Let's
so
go.
I'll have to give a little bit of context, before this. So, the founder of Ola, Bhavish Agarwal, if I'm not wrong, recently lamented that India doesn't have their own LLMs. India should be doing stuff on their own. Why are they
Which
relying
is
on
true.
US?
Which is true. All true.
Which is completely true. And he vouched to build Krutrim, an
And
AI LM.
$1 billion valuation funding.
Yeah,
The first unicorn of the year.
raised a lot of funding, and he launched his app a couple of days back, and some of the comments that popped up on Twitter were too hilarious. Are you made over OpenAI? Yes, my large language model is developed by OpenAI, a research company. My design and developments are based on their
Guys,
principal
I
technologies.
wouldn't be pissed at all of this. My major concern was when a guy asked the Krutrim beta version, which is a better electric scooter, and it didn't even ask to compare Ola and Ather, if I'm not wrong. But the LLM gave a response saying that the Ather is the best Indian electric vehicle on the roads.
You know what?
Guys, come on.
I think every company should do this. Every company should build a wrapper on top of ChatGPT and just try
Did
to
you
their
when you
new
say
products to
rapper,
it.
Pawan, does that bring back memories?
The fourth thing are you talking about? No, Shell. It's
Yeah.
Shell. I remember this when ChatGPT
Yes.
4 was launched. It was quite expensive for India. It's the same $20, I agree. But Indians being Indians never wanted to pay. So I remember talking to a friend who mentioned that Shell, the petrol company, had put a chatbot on their on their website which
Yeah.
said that powered by ChatGPT 4, and it was exactly the paid version of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
For everyone started to abuse it. Use ChatGPT 4 subscription without
India
having
is
a subscription.
truly a country
Crazy.
for Jugaad we are.
Look at this. Look at what happened after that. So when this blew up on social media and everybody was talking about this, and the next set of questions were: Are you programmed to act differently when words like OpenAI, ChatGPT, LLM are used? Say a simple yes or no.
Saying don't lie. Bhavish Agarwal has raised a lot of money
Someone
on
did
your
a
name.
hot fix. Someone was on Twitter that night and they were like, fuck, call your team. Let's do a hot fix. This shouldn't be out. This is our USP. Keep it a
Look
secret,
at
guys.
Look at the kind of bombs. Don't lie. Bhavish Agarwal has raised a lot of money on
It
it.
works. It works. ChatGPT is woke, guys. It does understand that.
What is wrong with people? Why are they going too specific into this?
That's also, I mean, I find when if someone is launching a new product and keeps it a paid version, no, it's worth it actually. You actually limit the flow by a large extent and best get
Look at
saved by
the
all of this.
response. I'm constantly learning, and I appreciate your understanding. Basically saying, please fuck off.
Let's move
That's
on.
like a founder's reply to a VC actually. I'm constantly learning.
Oh yeah.
Guys, this is one of the biggest news of this edition. Indus App Store is finally here.
Woohoo.
A little bit of
BPI.
context. So basically, Google and Apple have been fucking with Indian startups for a long time by removing them from the app stores for no real reasons, onboarding a lot of fraud loan applications. My friend Babula has been doing a great work by exposing a lot of them. And three, by charging somewhere between 20 to 30% commissions for each payments that's been done, on the purchase of these applications. So this is big news. I think all of us, working in startups in India should be super fucking excited about this. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts about this?
Guys, I have my 2 cents on this. I see both, which are the relevant app stores in the market. One is Google Play Store, one is Apple iStore or App Store or whatever you call it. Why are they relevant still? From last what 10 years, 15 years probably, they have been out and they have been relevant. That's the reason for that is because the hardware also is owned by each of these companies. They are not just charging that 30% premium cut for just using the app store or that software. It's also for the hardware that people are paying. At the end of the day, they want to do that virtual signaling. They want to own that own side of device and stuff like that. That's the cost there. If someone wants to disrupt this market, having just an app store or in software would not solve it, because the control still relies on the hardware side of it. And second, if these things needs to be worked out monetizable way, right? Or if people need to make money on this, right, as a business in usual, the only way you can do it is having apps which are not allowed on Play Store. Loans being one, but probably PhonePe will take a good call on that and not allow that. But I definitely see MPL's logo there. And I know there are 4 others in the pipeline. There will be a Rummy Time, there will be a Dream 11, there will be blah blah. Whose
So that's where you make money.
are not allowed on Play Store, guys. What better way to put it together rather than allowing some?
Guys, the funniest thing I think is what Pete is just showing here. Imagine if I'm launching a website, in the FAQs of the first time I'm writing, will there be any viruses or malware from apps downloaded from the Indus App Store? Guys, are we still in
Bharat
2005?
question. Bharat question, guys. Bharat question. We should acknowledge
fair.
this.
Maybe Ravi Sutanjali is the PM who's building this.
His startup might have been freelancing with PhonePe. Never know. This fintech community is very small, guys.
But I still feel personally, I think this is amazing. This is very big for our country. I feel it's a huge step in the right direction, and it just says so much about the digital infrastructure that we are trying to build as a country. I'm very proud of this.
I mean,
It is.
it's not public infra.
I didn't say public infra. I said digital infrastructure.
It's so like
You said
solving an
No, I didn't say.
existing problem.
You can rewind this and check. I didn't say public.
Okay, fine. Moving on. This didn't blow up as much, but I thought it was super hilarious. It happened on LinkedIn, apart from Twitter that I was showing before. So basically, what happened is this. The founder of Code Young, Shailendra Dakkar, said, "Coding girl, stop stealing. I'm trying to connect with your founders, but they seem to ignore. Your team is selectively stealing our organic and referral leads. With recordings, it is evident that your team is aware of it. Don't stoop so low. As a sector, we already are being scrutinized." My toes.
No one heard that tweet.
Behind
We didn't
this
hear that.
and personal reputation. See, the best part is the founder of Coding replied, "Dear Shailendra Dakkar, what is this incredibly naive post on LinkedIn? We focus on our own execution, not on any other company. We have never really talked about Code Young internally."
Guys,
Imagine somebody calling you out and saying, "Hey, you know what? I never took you seriously, so you have really no reason to hate me."
guys, this is literally. I just have one thing to say for this. Please chin up. You're a founder. You're working in a competitive space. Everyone wants to work with the same set of customers. It's
I would love
part
to
of
go to
life.
comments more here.
Yeah,
What
it's part of
people
life.
talking about it?
This is all such a waste of time, but can you correct allegations and start owning the mistake? Seems like the Code Young founder is getting a lot more support in terms of likes to his replies, but
Is it by founders whose businesses are also not doing well?
knowing both of you rock stars, I'm happy to help Potter here. While a
God's work, guys.
platform
God's
does
work.
well, it's best to jump on a call and clarify things like adults.
Real ID say our broker.
Who's this guy now? Mohit Gulati.
Guys, this is such a platform level thing, right?
Did somebody
Let me
just
solve it for you.
did this CEO
HR.
just comment his HR's email ID on this?
Does that mean you can apply for jobs here? Yeah.
Oh god.
Guys, this is
Feb has
hilarious.
been a very interesting year for Indian startups. A lot of controversial takes, a lot of interesting news. PayTm Payments Bank going down, a lot of commentary happening around that. But yep, this is this month's edition of Indian Startup Desktop.
Yes, so guys, bye bye. Signing off.